Good morning on this Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers who are listening in. We honor you. If you're a mother in the Silverside community, we honor you especially. And we all want to remember our own mothers today, those who are still with us in this world, as well as those who have moved along into God's more intimate embrace in the next realm. We will not fail to remember today those who are not biological mothers, but who are functional mothers. Grandmothers may function as mothers, aunts may function as mothers, even fathers, single fathers may function as mothers. I miss seeing Bob and Nita Balderston at church on a regular basis for so many reasons, and we regret so much the health concerns that Bob must deal with these days that keep him from being at church on a regular basis. Bob was a single father for a long time, raising two sons by himself, something that I also did for several years. And many years ago, as Bob would leave the sanctuary at Silverside on Mother's Day, he would never forget to wish me a happy Mother's Day. So thank you, Bob. Hope you're listening in today. Happy Mother's Day to you. You did a fantastic job raising two wonderful children before Nita and Kristen came into your life. I ask those of you who are on our e-blast and our text blast lists to prepare for this morning's online sermonette or our online gathering by doing a few things, one of which was to have something with you as you listen today that reminds you of your mother, whether she's still a part of this world or whether she's moved on to the next world. And I hope you remember to do that. If you didn't, you still can find meaning in what we're doing today, certainly, with just mental images. But if you did have the time or take the time to get that photograph that is the perfect reminder of your mom to you, or a gift that she gave you, something that you keep, something that you treasure. I'm looking right now as I record this from my home at a sculpture of a Jack Russell Terrier, a pup. I have no idea where Mother found this. Chances are it was QVC. But she spent money she really didn't have to spend on that to get this little sculpture. It's one of many things that remind me of my mom as I just look around my living room. But I see that and remember that she knew how much I loved dogs, and my first little Jack Russell in particular. And that's the kind of mom she was. She always celebrated what we celebrated, even when we grew up and began to celebrate things she didn't quite understand, and even if it took her a while to catch on. And in fairness to my sister and brother, who were much more status quo and who remain much more status quo than I, they did not give her as much to have to adjust to as I did. But in any case, so what you have in your hand now, or on your table nearby, or in your mind, we're going to pause for a moment and give thanks in whatever way you do that most comfortably for the gift of your mother. And then in a few seconds, a video for thought will begin to play.
Got a box for you to sign for?
Great, just put it right there.
What is it you guys do?
You don't know?
Know what?
Of course you don't know. I guess that's the point of all this.
I'm sorry, you lost me.
We monitor and collect every unnoticed service, sacrifice, or deed that moms do for their families. Oh, please. Melissa Richardson from Franklin, Ohio, just cleaned Sam and Charlie's room. Neither will notice.
What, that just happened?
4 minutes ago.
Where did you get that information?
Well, I'm not really allowed to say, but you know, here and there.
Okay.
Here comes another one. Sarah Pfeiffer from Long Beach, California just made her 100th lunch in a row without a thank you, Mom. Haley Cobb from Jefferson, Texas just did her daughter's forgotten chore of milking the goat. Gross. And last but not least, Jennifer Wright cleaned the whole house, top to bottom, and her husband didn't notice. And we have video.
You have video?
Check it out. Hey, babe.
Hey,
How was your day?
pretty busy.
Oh, yeah?
What do you think?
What do I think about what? Hang on, I gotta get this. McGuire! Hey, man. He didn't even notice.
So, do you do this for dads as well?
Oh, yeah. It's just a smaller division.
Dads don't do good things for their kids?
Oh, no. They do lots of good things. It's just moms do an exorbitant amount of unnoticed things.
So, how many people do what you do?
Well, this office has 3 shifts, 8 hours a shift, so 3 of us.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That's it.
So you probably run into a lot of unnoticed acts.
And that's just this office. There are over 5,000 offices worldwide doing exactly what we do. They just keep coming in today. Treated and bandaged to skin knee. We see this one a lot. It's unbelievable.
I wonder if any of my moms are in there.
What's your full name?
Akron Lanier Watson.
A-K-R-O-N?
Yeah.
Wow, looks like your mom's got a lot in there.
Really?
Yeah, typical stuff. Doing lots of laundry, cooking, cleaning. And your mom worked part-time.
She did.
Well, looks like. Wow.
What?
Your mom also prayed for you.
She prayed for me.
A lot. Well. Looks like you picked a good mom.
Yeah, I picked it.
On this Mother's Day, it is well worth remembering that Jesus' mother was a very big part of his life, though she certainly didn't understand all that he taught and all that he dreamed of. At the Last Supper, the last earthly supper Jesus had with his closest followers, she's likely in that big room I showed you. I think the last time we had communion, which was online, Likely she was in the big room where Jesus ate his last earthly meal with his closest male followers and others, but she and other women and men weren't seated at the primary table, but almost certainly they were eating at other tables in the room. Mary, the mother of Jesus, was one of the few in that room, people who were supposed to be Jesus' very closest followers, but she was one of the very few who went all the way with Jesus to the cross. Keep in mind that Mary, the mother of Jesus, was probably 46 or 47 years old when Jesus was executed. He was 33 years old or so. She was 13 or 14 years old when she married Joseph and had been a widow for a long time by the time that Jesus was executed. 50-ish was about as long as a woman in Mary's time and place would have been expected to live, so she probably didn't live all that long after Jesus died. Jesus was her firstborn, the first of at least 5 children. The New Testament makes references to Jesus' sisters and brothers, so we know that Mary had at least 2 daughters and at least 2 other sons besides Jesus. Jesus, carpenter or handyman, some scholars in recent years have suggested that his skills were beyond just carpentry, but Jesus, carpenter or handyman, had been responsible as the firstborn son for providing first for his mother and then for his siblings into adulthood until they were able to take care of themselves, or in the case of the sisters, be married into families that would take care of them. This was his responsibility after Joseph died. Pietà. Mary cradling the body of Jesus. Given the fact we know that there were times when Mary tried to explain to other people who were criticizing Jesus that he, just wasn't quite together sometimes, but she loved him nonetheless. I wonder if she was ever able to transcend her grief and find her way into a space where she could embrace Jesus' powerful understanding of God. In healthy families, across all cultures and times, as far as I know, in healthy families, mothers are respected and esteemed. That's expressed in different ways, but they are respected and esteemed. And as far as that goes, in healthy families, all members of healthy families are also respected and esteemed. Sometimes, and I think this happens way more often than almost all of us wish it did, a mother's children have to find themselves somewhere in adulthood, sometimes past young adulthood, before they realize how much their mothers have loved them, and maybe as difficult as it is to say for many people, how much they truly love their moms. To this pastor's eyes, it's a beautiful thing for families to partake of communion together. A beautiful thing when a biological family unit sits in the larger spiritual family, which is their church community. And as a biological family unit partakes of the elements of the Lord's Supper together. Parent handing tray to child, child handing tray to parent, sibling. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I, of course, assume that there's the proper understanding of what communion is supposed to be about and not some of the horror ideas that the church has attached to it through the years. But I'll try to avoid that commentary for today because we have other things on our minds. On the screen now is a picture of Sally Field. She is portraying here a character named Edna Spaulding in the 1984 film Places in the Heart. She actually won the Academy Award for Best Actress for this role. Ray Baker played her husband, Sheriff Royce Spaulding. In this picture, he is on the left-hand side. And this teen actor, Devereaux White, played a very, very tragic figure in Places in the Heart, Wiley. About 1935, Depression era, south of Texas, highly racist area. It's a Sunday afternoon. Most folks have been to church. Now they're at home having lunch with their families. The few who can afford to eat out at the diner are eating there. Most of the black people in town have almost no money at all and are going from door to door to see who might have any leftovers to share with them. The Spaulding family, they're eating together, and the deputy comes in and tells Sheriff Spaulding that there's a young black kid who's drunk and he's out shooting a gun. He's going to hurt somebody if the sheriff can't get him to stop. And the others are trying to get him to stop. He won't. They don't want to hurt him. And they assume that Sheriff Spaulding would be able to do the job. However, when Sheriff Spaulding attempts to get Wiley to stop shooting randomly, one of the bullets shoots the sheriff in the chest and kills him. One tragedy follows another. The Klansmen in town waste no time. Certainly there's no trial. They waste no time tying Wiley's body to the back of a vehicle and dragging it through town until Wiley's dead. And there's some pretty graphic scenes in the film where they bring Wiley back to show the Spaulding family just what they've done and how proud they are of what they've done. What follows is a gut-wrenching series of scenes about how people try to survive in this horrendous set of circumstances. The Spaulding family in particular, and Edna, this strong mother, manages a farm and holds her family together despite the odds, people cheating her, racism rampant, and yet surprising number of people who don't seem like they would be the helping types help. And things begin to come together in a hopeful kind of way. The final scene is one of the most moving scenes I've ever seen in a film. It's a communion scene. You're going to have to click out of what we have for you here today in order to watch it. We're going to provide a link for you to do that. When you finish with this, then you'll click onto that and then you'll be finished. You won't come back to anything here. But you'll go on from having watched this 3 or 4 minute clip from Places in the Heart to have your own communion time. Watch what's going on in this communion service, because as the plates, the trays keep passing, people who have hurt and cheated each other find themselves sitting on the same pew, passing the cup, the tray full of cups to each other. But keep watching what happens at the end. It has moved into a heavenly realm where the Spaldings are sitting on a pew with Wiley, and Edna passes the communion tray to Royce, her husband. Royce passes the communion tray to Wiley. Wow. Those were the kinds of values that the family shared. But after her husband was gone, it was her responsibility to instill and to live out. After you click onto the little movie clip for Places in the Heart that Blaine has provided, watch that. And then if you're by yourself or if you're with family members today, take a moment and have your portion of whatever you're going to eat and your portion of whatever you're going to drink. Give thanks for God's love, for Jesus' determination that everyone would find out about God's love. And if you're one of the lucky ones who had a mother who taught you about faith, or who at least opened you up to be the kind of person who would search out spiritual realities until you found your truth, give special thanks on this Mother's Day.